What's up, everybody? Leone here today with a tutorial video today, actually. But first, before we get to any of that, I got the mic stand, I got my USB mic, and I got a pop filter. Nothing high-end or anything, just something decent to hopefully improve our audio for the time being. Yes, we're going to sacrifice the corner, but it is what it is. But it's not about any of that. But let me know in the comments what you think, if it sounds a little bit better for those of you that have been listening to my crappy audio for the last couple of years, actually. So let me know. Today, we're going to take a look at these new heads from Joytech. They're rebuildable. I think they call them the CLR heads. Or a 5-pack from eciggity.com. They were about $13.99 or $14.99, I'm not sure. And they're rebuildable heads, basically. We're going to go down to the table here. The audio is going to get worse as we use the other webcam, as we use the other camcorder, because that doesn't have a good microphone on it. So bear with that. And we're going to take a look at these CLR heads and build one. And this is my first impressions. I've never built with these yet, so we're going to try to do it together, and hopefully I can help you guys do it. If you do it, it looks pretty simple. Let's take a crack at it. Alright, so they come in a package like this. Joytech atomizer head, 5 pieces. And CLR 0.5 ohm, and your scratch and check authenticity. There goes the tool. Yeah, they come in here. Let's open one of these bad boys up. Let's not waste any time. Alright, so here's the coil out of the package. These look like some nice little rebuildable coils. You got knurling on top, knurling on bottom, and actually they already come pre-wicked and pre-coiled. So if you don't want to rebuild them, you could actually use them as is, and then when it gets bad, you can change your cotton or put a new coil in there. So you can see that there. It's a 0.5 ohm, and you just twist off this top part here, and that will come right off. And if you're familiar with rebuilding like a sub tank, this is a lot easier, but it's very similar also. You can see the cotton just going through these side channels here. Coil sitting right there. And I'm going to tear this one out because I want to rebuild it, because I want to see how it works and how simple it really is to do with nickel, because that's what we're trying to use it in the Ego 1 Mega, which came with the EVIC VT, because the stock coils for that tank suck so bad, so I decided let's give it a try. So yeah, you got a little piece of cotton there. It's definitely cotton. Set that aside, and you see your little coil in there. A 5 wrap of maybe 28. And then I'm assuming this bottom pin just pops out, just like what we're used to. And it sure does. Set that aside, and then you got one lead right there. And then the other lead should be underneath, which you can see the other lead's right there. So that's how it goes back together. One lead's underneath the grommet, and one leads right over the grommet in between that and this little piece out. It all comes apart very easily, to be honest with you, so that's good. And let's get something and let's poke this coil out of here. Boom. All you're left with is a outer shell. And here's your little coil. So I'm using Ni200 pure nickel wire, 28 gauge tempered nickel wire, which if you're going to do nickel, get tempered wire. This tempered 28 is a lot less springy than the regular 30 gauge nickel wire, so it's a lot easier to work with, which is one of my gripes with nickel builds, is because they're a pain in the butt. And I'm just going to use my little coiling tool here, and of course you're going to want to insert into the right hole first of all, and then you want to do spaced coils, not micro coils. Every time I've done a micro coil with nickel wire, it just hasn't come out right and hasn't worked properly. So I'm going to do that real quick, do a couple wraps. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll make it an 8 wrap coil. And I know that wasn't totally on camera, but that's me. Alright, so that's what our coil looks like here. I'll just space it out evenly here. Use a screwdriver, you just use your nail and just space them out nicely. What I'll do is I'll compress them here real quick. I'm going to quick compress. Boom, and they should pretty much pop back to almost even. As you can see there, yeah, they're almost even. I'm not perfect, but they're pretty close to perfect. And then you could actually leave it right on here and insert it into the section here. And boom, as you can see, the tool, which by the way is a 2.5mm rod, just sits in here perfectly. It doesn't move. So make sure your coils aren't touching the walls here. Make sure you have some space around it, which if I center it perfectly, it'll be just fine. And basically just hold that rod down in there with your thumb. Take one lead and bend it up. Just like so. And then take your rubber grommet right here. And that's going to go, this lead's going to go through it. So just like that. That lead is going through it. And then press that grommet up in, just like so. So this lead here is trapped underneath the grommet, and this lead here is free still. Then you want to take this lead and also bend it back while still keeping that tool in place there. You want to just bend it back just like that. And boy, this 28 nickel tempered wire is fantastic to work with. And then take this pin and push it in, and that'll hold that lead in place. Just like so. Boom. Now you got both leads here. Now you could, what's best is to get a pair of cutters and cut it as close as possible to the end here. Yep, and I just am twisting and pulling my wire right out, and boom, the lead just breaks right off. Nickel's a lot easier to break leads. I can pull my tool right out, and you can see my coil is perfectly centered right where it needs to be, right there and right there. So it's very easy to build with. And my leads are all trapped down here at the bottom, and no excess is sticking out, so make sure there's no wire poking out. I just got a little strip of Japanese organic cotton here. I'm just going to twist my ends, make a point here. Nice and pointy. Keep hitting my camera. There it goes again. And just slide that coil right through. Look at how easy that went through there. And with nickel, go gently because nickel is a little softer than Kanthal. So just twist and pull as you're taking this cotton through. Now, just guessing here, because again, this is my first time doing it, you should probably snip your cotton. I'm going to do this off camera real quick. There you go. Actually, that's probably way too long. I'll snip more. Just going judged on how the stock one came. Boom. I'm going to just leave a little fluffy tail. Nothing much. So like this side, I'm going to snip this side off a little more. So there we go. We'll just leave little tails there. And that may be just perfect. I'll just fluff them out a little bit. Just like that. And I can see I got cotton in there, and if you give me 1 second, I'm going to space those coils. And something I was thinking about off camera, actually, is to use the gold-plated pin, if this is gold-plated. I don't even know what this... It looks like it's a gold-plated pin. Don't quote me. More brass-plated pin. Doesn't look brass. It looks too shiny. It just swapped out the contact that came with it with this one that was in my nickel coil that came with it. I saved this shitty-ass head with poor performance. I just took that gold-plated pin out of there and inserted it into here. I mean, it could only help with conductivity, I guess. So let's try that. You don't have to use this. I just thought about it. So if you do have your old coil heads laying around, I'd probably swap out the pins and use those pins. They seem maybe like they'll be a little bit better. I don't know. Anyways, so then take the top section here, and you're just going to thread this guy in. Just like that. And this basically is a juice flow control. So if you're having issues wicking, you can close it off more. I wouldn't close it too much because you'll basically just restrict the cotton. And I may have too much. Again, this is my first time doing it. I may snip some of this stuff off actually. So yeah, that's the final product. So yeah, you can just adjust this a little bit to open the channel up a bit more, or you can close it down to restrict your juice a little bit more. I'm going to leave it right about here to where it's just a little bit snug. Let's grab my base and let's screw her in. And you're also going to want, obviously, pre-wicket. Now I can see an issue here when you turn this part of the head. Seems like you may be turning the juice flow control with it. And yes, it is. I can see it's cramping down that wick. So note that's going to be a little bit of a pain. You might actually want to tighten it from the second knurl, yeah, down here, instead of tightening it from up here. There we go. It's connected. I'm just going to nip that up a little bit. And we'll, obviously, you're going to want to juice this. I got some strawberry overdose from Dr. Crimmy's. I'm just going to put some juice on my ends here. A couple drops down the center. It is a nickel coil, so we don't really have to worry about it, because if it is dry and you did it right, it won't fire. So there we go. It's wicked. I'm going to put it in my tank. Let's go up top. Let's vape it, and I'll tell you what I think about it. Alright, so you saw me rebuild it. Again, this is my first time doing it. These are the Ego 1 CLR heads. They do work in the Ego 1 Mega Tank that comes with the Evic VT. And like I showed you up front, I put the gold-plated pin or whatever the hell plating that is on there instead of the silver-plated or stainless steel one that came with it. And it's working just fine, actually. This has revived this tank. So if you have one of these tanks and you weren't using it because it came with these fucking little shitty-ass heads with the tiny-ass holes in them, and you are okay with rebuilding, get yourself a pack of these for 13, 14, 15 bucks, whatever the hell I paid for them. Can't beat it. You really can't. Let me close down this airflow a little bit to my liking. Let's have a couple vapes. Takes a little time to break in. I had to take a couple vapes before it actually started kicking in, but there's an ambulance. Okay. The vape's really nice. Flavor's really good on it, actually. The build came out to a 0.09 ohm. And don't forget, this is a nickel build. So only use it on, obviously, temperature control devices. I'm going to bump the power up on here a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Bring her up. I had her at 40 watts. Let's take her up to 50. Alright, 50 watts. And let's take the temperature up to 420 degrees Fahrenheit. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go to 440. Vapes brilliantly. Really, it vapes brilliantly. Get yourself a pack of these heads. There's no way around it. These fuckers are great. I mean, this revives this tank, and I really do like this tank. I think the flavor off it now is really good. Now I could actually give the tank a review. Very impressive. This custard shines very well, the strawberry custard. Very good. Very good stuff. Yeah, so hopefully that helps. Again, these are the Ego 1 CLR heads. They do work in the Ego 1 Mega Tank. Very easy to rebuild. If you've rebuilt a Pro Tank before, simple, even easier because you have the little ring there. They're designed to be rebuilt, so it couldn't be any easier to rebuild your heads. Give it a go. Let me know what you think. Hopefully this helped some of you. And yeah, that's about it, guys. I'll catch you. I was gonna shoot a vlog. Work's been so busy. The 4th of July is 2 days away, and I got a lot of stuff to do. So next week I'm probably gonna be shooting 2 different videos, maybe 3 videos next week. So you're in for a treat if you do like me. So stay tuned for that. And until next time, live well and vape on, guys. Take care.